Hello, everybody. I am Gustavo Tolosa, the plant-powered pianist. I have this YouTube channel that I've had for 11 years, and I am a start solution coach and a whole food plant-based coach and chef. And today I wanted to invite you to see the big, I should say humongous zucchini. I think I have a world record, but I don't know. I'm not sure. So I went for a vacation. I went for a vacation for 1 week and I came home to find something very interesting. And by the way, I would love to see you type something in the chat so that I don't feel so lonely here. So if you don't mind uh, typing where you're logging in from, I would love to know. All right, so I come home and I go to the vegetable garden, and one of the things I find is this zucchini. This zucchini is 12 inches long. Okay, so um, quite something. Then I look around a little more and look at this. This zucchini is 17 inches long. I even have a measuring tape here so that I can show you how it actually is 17 inches long. It goes to here, and that is, well, actually it says, let's see, it says 18. So my first question was, what am I going to do with this? Okay, because of course I'm going to eat it, but how do I cook this? So I got an idea that I want to show you tonight. So with this and other zucchinis that I have now, some of the things I'm going to make, and I hope to show you these in future videos. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe because it helps me to continue making these free videos for you, and click on the little notification bell. You don't have to go to the market now and find a monster like this. Find any kind of regular zucchini, maybe buy the bigger ones, and I'll show you what I'm going to make. So what I'm going to make today, this is what I'm going to attempt. I'm going to cut it lengthwise, then carve the inside, take it out and chop it. And with other things that you'll see, I'm going to make a filling. I will fill it in again and then bake it at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for probably an hour or so until this gets soft. Okay, so here we are in Gustavo's kitchen. Okay, and in this spot, I'm going to tell you what I have. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of hot water, but just a little, because we want to saute with no oil, because as you know, oil, when it's heated, has a lot of carcinogens and a lot of things, bad chemicals that you don't want in your body. Okay, and so we don't use oil. We don't need it. The flavor is great without it. And of course, oil is the highest caloric food, if we could call it food, on the planet, with 4,000 calories per pound. So we don't really need it because, like I said, in this case, it won't make a difference. So I am sauteing right here. What you see in this spot is 2 cups of chopped onions, about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or however many you want garlic cloves chopped, 1 cup of green bell peppers chopped, 1 cup of red bell peppers chopped. And now that the onion is translucent and cooked, I am going to add 1 cup of chopped mushrooms, any mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, you might want to try eggplant. And I will add 1 cup of chopped tomatoes. If you want to buy fire roasted tomatoes, that would make it even better. Here's the garlic. So now I will make sure that I mix this. This is the mixture that I came up with, but it has other things, a couple of other things that I'll show you in a minute. But I will go ahead and cover this. Well, no, I probably won't cover it. Because I want it more like saute. This is a medium to medium high heat, and I'm going to let it cook more while I work on this zucchini. I will cut the ends, or the end here, one, and a little bit of the other end. And now I'm going to cut it in half. So this is about 9 inches each half. Like I said, you can buy any kind of zucchini, maybe make it, find the bigger ones. I'm going to do stuffed, baked zucchini. That's what I'm going to do. So with this here, I will carefully cut it now in half. I'm just curious to see what it looks like inside. I don't know if it has a lot of seeds or not, but I will need to carve it now. And I'm going to try this to see how it goes. We will put the inside there. While I'm carving this, okay, I'm going to take the time to tell you about something exceptional happening that you may not be aware of. But once a year, the vegan health bundle comes out. It is a lot of work. This bundle, the reason it's exceptional, it's because, don't take my word for it, okay? Don't. Please do me a favor, one favor that I'm going to ask you. Take a look at the bundle. Take a look, because later on, you might want to get it. And on Sunday, it's going to be off forever. It is never sold again. Chef AJ and I did a lot of cooking parties in our early days. We filmed probably close to 20 cooking parties. This happened in her little kitchen in Los Angeles before she moved to Sacramento. And those were the vintage years, okay, when all of the technology was kind of primitive, but that's what we had. And we made these wonderful cooking parties with recipes that are truly amazing. Chef AJ spent a lot of time developing those recipes. So in this health vegan bundle, my contribution to it is 2 of the most popular cooking parties. The very first one, which has Chef AJ's favorite recipes, and the 5th one that is called South of the Border Cooking Party. And it is recipes with a Mexican flavor. And they have truly incredible recipes in it. Plus, you will be able to see they are vintage. You will be able to see how much younger we looked Although, hopefully, because we eat this way, we haven't aged much, if any. Maybe we look younger now. But you'll be able to see that, and you'll be able to see how homemade the whole thing was. It's not, we didn't have the fancy microphones and the fancy lights and the fancy programs that we have now. But they're very good cooking parties. Well, those two alone are worth $40, which is pretty much the value of the whole bundle. So it's a no-brainer. With what you would pay for those two cooking parties, you get 150 other ebooks and videos and programs that will help you to stay committed and succeed in improving your health and hopefully reversing some conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes or heart disease and many other inflammatory illnesses. So here you have this filling. They're carved, okay? And this is doing pretty well here, okay? I'm gonna make it a little higher, the heat. And now what I'm going to do is chop some of this. I don't really care if I am making too much. Actually, I hope that I'm making too much, because what doesn't fit inside this carved zucchini is going to be another meal. It's going to be something that I can put on rice or rice and beans or potatoes or a side dish or breakfast or lunch or dinner. So I don't worry if I have any left over. Actually, I do hope that I will have leftovers. So back to the bundle. Right there in the description, you have the link, okay? You have the link to the bundle, and I will appreciate it if you buy the bundle from my link, just because I get a little commission, and that helps me to continue doing these free videos and free programs that I do all the time for you all. It does help me. So, but even if you decide not to get it, which it would be sad, because it's a bundle that you get to keep permanently. It doesn't go away. So you download it with a click of a mouse, and it's in your computer. You could put it in a hard drive or in a travel drive, and you can and it's there. It's yours forever to keep. And so there's no rush to go through each product. You have all the time in the world, but you will find the things that interest you. Everybody has probably something that interests them. For example, there is a yoga for all bodies challenges. Kathy Fisher from Straight Up Food has something that is called Straight Up Sweet. Chef AJ has oil-free salad dressings, which is something that we all struggle with because we want to eat salads, but sometimes they're not as tasty if the salad dressing is not good. So Chef AJ has some amazing salad dressings. We also have, by Julia Dunaway, the plant-based Japanese. I don't know about you, but I love Japanese food, but I would want it to be oil-free and whole food plant-based. So there you have it. These are not fake products. These are products that each contributor sells on their own, on their website. So the value of the whole bundle, when you add everything, is $8,015 or something like that dollars, which you can get for the price of just one thing, which is about 40. And so, like I said, don't trust me. Go ahead and see for yourself. See for yourself and tell me what you think. Dr. McDougall has a gut health mini course. A lot of people have problems with their guts and their stomach and intestines. And so he has a wonderful mini course. Again, that is sold on their website, and you can get it as part of this bundle. So it's a lot of work, like I said, to put this together. Many, many months go by putting this together, but it's worth it. Dr. Nikki Davis has vegan kids can cook. So if you have kids or grandchildren or anybody you know that have kids and you want them to have fun in the kitchen, making simple recipes that are whole food, plant-based, so that they can start eating healthier and not having to deal later on in life with these really life-threatening illnesses, then that is another course. Another course is Fitness for Longevity, which I love. And then another one is French, Indian, and Thai vegan cooking class series. I love Thai food. So you can see now when you go to look at the bundle, using the link that I have put in the description, then I'm going to put it in the chat as well. You can see it. And by the way, make sure you are in my email list. I don't send a lot of emails. I don't send a lot of emails at all. But sometimes my emails will announce something important that you don't want to miss. And to sign up for my email list, you go to my website, which is called plantemus.com. That is plant, P-L-A-N-T, E-M-U-S.com. And you click on subscribe and make sure that you accept. It asks you to give permission to something that I don't remember what it is now. But if you don't accept the permission, then my email won't reach you. Okay. All right. So I have chopped the inside of the zucchini, and I'm going to put it in this mixture right here. And for those of you who may have come in late, a little later, I'm going to repeat. In this pot, I have 2 cups of yellow onions chopped, then 5 or 6 or 7 or however many garlic cloves you want chopped, 1 cup of green bell pepper chopped, 1 cup of red bell pepper chopped, 1 cup of mushrooms chopped, and 1 cup of chopped tomatoes, or maybe even fire roasted tomatoes, a can of fire roasted tomatoes. But make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. That also helps me. I do want to be able to reach 50,000 subscribers, and I have a ways to go. And so please subscribe to my email list. I'm going to put that in the chat in a minute. Okay, now comes the fun part, which is the spices and herbs. I have an herb garden. So I chop, this is 1 tablespoon of thyme, 1 tablespoon of oregano, and 1 tablespoon of basil. I'm going to make this with an Italian flavor. You then can taste it, and if it needs more, feel free to add more. I'm going to do that in a minute. Let's add some other things here. I'm going to add
a teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, just to accentuate more the flavors of the onion and garlic that it already has. You could, instead of putting the fresh herbs that I put in here, you could just get some Italian seasoning and just put 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of this. Okay, I'm going to add a tablespoon of one of my favorite spices, or yeah, spicy, which is smoked paprika. That's smoked paprika. It's different from just plain paprika, okay? It's different. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of turmeric, because turmeric is such a wonderful anti-inflammatory. You could even go with 1 tablespoon. And to give it this little bit of a, different flavor here, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And that's something that people probably won't be able to tell what it is, but it will add a different flavor. So this is very flavorful. And what I want to do, while the oven is preheating at 300, and what I want to do is make sure that this is that more of the liquid is gone. And I'm going to continue cooking this. You all know that we need starch, because starch is the fuel. Without starch, our energy level is not as high. Without starch, our satiety is not as good. Without starch, we don't really get the full benefit of a whole food plant-based diet. So this is cooked quinoa. You could use cooked rice or cooked other grain, but this is cooked quinoa. 1 cup. I'm going to add it for the starch. And I just wish that we had smell-o-vision, because with smell-o-vision, you could smell this is, I just want to eat it all. And I am afraid, actually, that this filling is not going to be enough to fill the huge zucchinis here. So I'm going to go ahead and add another cup of the quinoa. So it's going to be 2 cups of the quinoa. You can see how this is, I'm making it up pretty much as we go, just by eyesight. Now, if you use salt, I would say to add salt when you're about to eat it, so that you don't put too much. Otherwise, use a salt substitute like Table Tasty or any other. And I'm going to also leave this for when I am about to serve it. And let's go ahead, put this here and the zucchini back on the cutting board here. All right, so everything in this pot is cooked. So I'm going to turn it off. And besides that, it's going to continue cooking for another hour or so. Now let's have fun filling these suckers here. And while I fill this in here, I'm going to tell you, let's see, let me use this and see if I can put the pot here. There you go. And I'm going to tell you some of the other offerings that you will find in the vegan health bundle. Something else you will find is if you love junk food, who doesn't love junk food, unfortunately? So no problem, okay? Dr. Raya Puri has love junk food, no problem. Healthy junk food, 5-day mini course. I think that course in itself is worth the bundle, but you have 149 more. I'm not gonna tell you all 149, but I am asking you, almost begging you, because I know that later on some people, are sorry that they didn't get it, and then they want to get it, and unfortunately, next Sunday this bundle is taken down, and it's never coming back because it never repeats, and there really isn't a way to get it. Then there is another mini course that is called Cooking Indian Food mini course. And again, I don't know about you, I just love Indian food, but sometimes Indian food has a lot of oil, unfortunately, and I just cannot eat any oil, or and much less large amounts of oil. So you can finally make Indian food that is oil free, that is whole food, plant based, with no dairy, no meat, obviously. And so that's another offering. You also have one of the contributors is called Fruity Eva, and she has her offering is smoothie recipes. If you love smoothies, then that is something that you will really enjoy. I'm going to fill these as much to the top as possible, and I'm going to bake them. Again, you can make this, just try to find the bigger size zucchini. I doubt that you're going to find an 18-inch zucchini like the one I harvested from my yard or my garden, but find medium or large zucchinis so that you don't have to be filling in, too many. Each one of this might feed 2 people. So the filling is actually not too off. I don't have a lot left over, and I'm going to make sure that I pack it in there. And this taste, let me just give it a taste. Tastes great. So when this is baked for an hour or so, I can't imagine it. Let's go ahead and bring in. So what I have done is, this is a glass pan. It's large. You can use maybe 2 glass pans. This is a pretty big one. And I have lined it with parchment paper. Let's move this a little bit. And I'm going to place this pan on top of this baking sheet because I don't want the bottom to burn. I want them to cook slowly so that, because this skin is thick, so it has to cook enough time. And since I've never made this, I don't know. I'm thinking that it's going to be an hour, but it might be more than an hour. And I can see how it's not going to fit. So I am prepared with another one of these so that I can put this one in another pan. And now I'm going back to my living room area.
And today is part two of my um, webinar, I guess, or a broadcast about the stuffed zucchini. This is a humongous zucchini that I harvested from my vegetable garden, and it was 18 feet in 18 inches, not feet, 18 inches long, and just big. I've never seen anything like it. And I last night I showed you what how I was going to prepare it. And please type in the chat here. I'd love to know who's here so that I don't feel so lonely here in my living room where you're watching from. So today is the taste test. I'm going to taste the stuffed baked zucchini, and I think it looks really good. We'll see if the looks go with the taste. So, but I just also want to tell you that most of the times in my 7 day program that I run every other month, which we're starting in March, and you can find it in my website, which is plantemis.com. So you can actually we learn to always have greens with any meal because they provide all of the nutrition. Starch provides the fuel, and color and variety and smell and taste, etc. And cooked greens or raw greens. So I want to show you today what I am going to have for lunch. For lunch, it is this beautiful salad. And, I just, every time it's different. But today it is arugula, arugula, red onion, tomatoes, cucumbers, and shredded carrots. The arugula is also from my vegetable garden, so I'm excited to have something that is truly organic. And I'm going to show you what I usually put on a salad. I usually put balsamic vinegar. I don't sell these balsamic vinegars. I wish they would give me a commission, but they don't. But this is the California balsamic vinegar, and they have, I don't know, I want to say at least 30 different flavors. This is the 7 herb Italian balsamic, which is delicious. This also comes in smaller bottles that are easy to carry with you when you go to a restaurant. This is the Gilroy garlic balsamic, okay? And this is the teriyaki balsamic. And this is the premium classic balsamic. They have cilantro, and they have chocolate, and they have, oh my god, I don't know, I can't remember all the uh, curry. They have so many different flavors. They have fruity flavors. So anyway, I'm just going to put the basic premium balsamic on this salad. And you do want to have, I'll give you a little bit of a free training here and advice. You always want to start with, if possible, with something that is non-starchy, that has a lot of water, like all these vegetables are mostly water. and fiber, because that will create satiety. It will fill your stomach, and then you will be eating basically just very little, very little. I mean, this may have, I don't know if it has 50 calories. This is nothing, okay? But it's a lot because it will fill my stomach, and I'm including my greens, my daily greens. So I'm going to give it a taste. It's a little bit sweet, so it's the perfect flavor with all of these vegetables. The tomato is also sweet. The red onion is kind of sweet, and mm, the arugula has a very strong flavor. So that makes the salad great. So I'm just going to have one more bite. Very good. So this is half of the zucchini. I cut it in half. So it's about this long. You don't you can do this with regular sized zucchini. I just found that humongous zucchini in my garden, but any zucchini will do. And it was amazing how it did not have a lot of I thought it was going to be mostly seeds, but it wasn't. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some nutritional yeast that gives it that little bit of a cheesy flavor. That's totally optional. That is just a tiny bit. And if you want to use Benson's Table Tasty or any other salt substitute, you can do that. And okay, here comes now the actual tasting of this. And how long did I cook this? Well, it was so big that I had to cook this in the oven at 300 for 2 hours. Of course, I was doing things in the house, and so it didn't bother me that it took so long. And then I turned off the oven. It was like 11 at night or 10 or something. And I just left it in the oven until this morning. And it was soft. If and it should be soft. If it is not soft, you can just give it a quick a steaming, and then it'll get soft. So here is my bite. Mm. The zucchini is very juicy, but has that consistency, hard consistency. That's very good, very good. And mm, I cannot tell you. The filling has quinoa in it, so that's a little bit of the starch. The zucchini has some starch, but not really enough to be a starchy vegetable. So this is a low starch meal, but it is very filling. Instead of a salad, you could have steamed kale or chard or spinach, or sauteed with onions and garlic and mushrooms or peppers or whatever. So it is a very filling meal, very high nutrition meal, and it has some starch, but it doesn't. It's not a high starch meal. So it is a wonderful, wonderful meal. It got kind of brown on top, and I can't stop eating it. But let me tell you something. Mm, yes, Nancy is saying that some people don't want to use the large zucchinis, But use them. Okay, cut them lengthwise, take the inside out, chop it, and then make up some filling. It doesn't have matter if you make more than what you think you'll use, because if you have leftovers, you can eat it with rice or potatoes or beans or whatever. So I always put onions and garlic, and then it's up to you whether you want to chop some peppers and mushrooms and other vegetables to go inside, and or rice or um, quinoa like I did. So if you have not explored my YouTube channel, make sure that you scroll and start looking at all the videos. It is it's been 11 years of creating really good content, I have to say. I'm proud of the content. There are many webinars with the one and only amazing Dr. McDougall, Dr. Lyle, Dr. Um, um, Esselstyn. Um, I mean, you'll find just about every plant-based doctor in this channel, Chef AJ and Chef Shada and many others. I do a lot of free content, and I am happy to do it because I want to help people. Just once a year, I am part of this amazing vegan health bundle. It is once a year. Chef AJ and Lisa, let's see, is Lisa Mary's from Raw Food Romance. They put together. I mean, AJ is cook. You know, uh, her recipes are mostly cooked, and Lisa is all raw. Anyway, they take several months to put together this bundle. What is this bundle? Well, this bundle is a combination of the best that there is out there, the best. Okay, the best doctors and chefs and people that are in the health industry and health coaches, um, the best of the whole food plant based, turn in a product. It could be a cooking demo, it could be some kind of exercise classes, it could be access to a mini course, it could be a lot of different things. This year, there are 150 of these the um, products, videos, courses that are in this bundle, and it would not only take you hours and hours or days to find all of this, but it would take you about $8,045 or something like that to purchase them, because these are real products. They're not made up for this bundle. They're real products that are sold, and after the bundle is over, they will continue to be sold at their price. What is amazing about this truly is that by buying just one of them, like the one I have with Chef AJ, at the regular price that you buy it, you pay for the all 150. So I believe the bundle is $40 or 40 some dollars. Well, that pays for just one thing. Okay, so it's a no-brainer, and I hope that you won't just take my word for it. I hope that you will see for yourself, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about being overwhelmed, because you keep this forever. Okay? This doesn't erase or go away. This bundle is yours to keep permanently. You just have to download it with a click of a mouse, but it's yours, and you have months to look at it, years to look at it. You know, it's there. It's just a treasure. It truly is a treasure. The two webinars that I contributed are what I call vintage webinars, because one of them is the first one that I did with Chef AJ in her little kitchen in Los Angeles, and the other one that has her 10 favorite recipes. The other one is south of the border is called webinar that has a lot of Mexican style recipes. Wonderful. Just that alone is worth the whole bundle. Plus now you get 100 and some more. So I hope that you will look at it. The link to find the bundle is in the description area of this video below, and then I will put it in the comments. And yes, it helps me if you click on that link because I get a little bit of um, a percentage, okay, a commission, and that just helps me to continue creating the free videos. There's a lot of expenses, the high-speed internet, lights, microphones, constantly updating the technology, the Zoom, fees, etc. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, but thank you for coming today, and I hope that you will look at the bundle, number one. And then number two, I hope that you will subscribe to my channel, that you will go to my website, which is plantemus.com, plantemus.com, and just look around. Thank you, everybody. And I'm now going to go have lunch. Bye-bye.